Wednesday. Goal of today's workout is a low load, long endurance muscular hold day. So jumping right in, the first thing we're going to be doing is this quad stretch. If you lay on your stomach and you bring your heel to your butt, your heel should be able to touch your butt with both your knee and your hips staying in contact with the ground. So if you can't do this, this is an indication that you're having some quad or some hip flexor tightness that needs to be addressed. A lot of times we can sense or feel this tightness, so we start stretching. And one of the things that we're talking about this week in the program is other things that limit our mobility than just muscle length. So a lot of times we see lack of mobility, and what do we want to do? We want to stretch. But you either don't gain your mobility or don't maintain your mobility. And we are talking about different reasons why this might be and how do we effectively gain motion, and then how do we effectively keep our motion. So going with this concept of why you can't keep your hip extension, I'm going to show you something, so bear with me for just a minute. There are, when I extend my hip, I can use my glute to extend my hip, or I can use my low back and extend my hip. But this is very different than this, okay? So if I don't use my hip to extend my hip, what happens over the course of time is that I start to lose this motion through my hip because this is taking over. So I notice that I'm missing this motion, so what do? I start stretching it, and then I wonder why I can't gain it. It's because I functionally don't know how to use that motion. Our bodies always operate with maximum efficiency. It's a use it or lose it. So if you don't use it, your body gets rid of it so that we can operate more efficiently. So if you want to gain your hip motion and you want to maintain it, you have to effectively use it. A lot of times we know if we're using our low back rather than our hip because we have a lot of low back soreness that comes with that. So anyway, something to think about is that there's other things that limit your mobility than just muscle length. And so you have to address your lack of mobility correctly in order to gain motion and to maintain the motion that you're gaining. And again, that's one of the things that we're talking about this week in the Baseline MX program. Next thing you're going to do is an elbow to instep stretch with a rotation. That thoracic rotation is really important in our game. Next thing we're going to do is a side glute bridge with a band if you have one. If you don't have one, do it without a band. Next thing you're going to do is plank walkouts. I'm pregnant in this picture, or in this video. And so if I'm pregnant and I can do this, you can do it. Okay. Then this starts the endurance holds that I'm talking about. So the first thing we're going to do is a goblet squat. You're going to do 10 reps, and on each of these 10 reps, you're going to hold in the middle of this motion for 10 seconds. So instead of going up and down, you're going to pause right there for 10 seconds and then complete the motion. You're going to do the same thing for a single leg squat. So instead of going just straight up and down, you're going to pause 10 seconds, then you're going to complete that motion. If you have something to hang on to, feel free to. The goal is to load your leg as much as you possibly can. The next one we're going to do is a crossover step up. Again, pausing in the middle, completing our motion, and you have 10 reps on each side. So legs are going to get in a pretty good workout today with those holds. Again, if you, over the course of the session, if you can't continue to appropriately move your body weight, you can either stop or you can find something to use your arms to offload your weight. Anyways, that's today's workout. Enjoy it, have fun, and happy Wednesday, everybody.